Once upon a time, in the village of Akadidi, there lived a couple named Chinasa and Dike. They were known throughout the village for their adventurous spirits and insatiable curiosity. Chinasa, with her warm smile and lively nature, and Dike, with his strong will and daring heart, made a perfect pair. They shared a deep bond, always exploring the world around them and seeking new experiences together. One evening, the village elders announced a strict curfew, warning everyone to stay indoors. The gods of love, Anya and Chima, were set to visit the village that night. It was said that their presence was sacred, and no mortal should witness their divine acts. The elders emphasized the importance of remaining in their homes, as it was a time of great reverence and sanctity. But Chinasa and Dike, driven by an intense curiosity, could not resist the urge to see the gods with their own eyes. Ignoring the warnings, they decided to sneak out of their home that night. Hand in hand, they tiptoed into the dense forest, believing it was where the gods would descend. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they noticed a glowing light emanating from a clearing ahead. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine, and the atmosphere was charged with an otherworldly energy. Hiding behind a large tree, they peered into the clearing and gasped at the sight before them. The gods, Anya and Chima, were engaged in a magnificent otherworldly act of intimacy. Their bodies shimmered with a divine light, and their movements were both graceful and powerful. Mesmerized, Chinasa and Dike watched in awe, unable to look away. The beauty of the scene captivated them, filling them with a strange mixture of amusement and admiration. Little did they know their decision to spy on the gods would have dire consequences. The following morning, Chinasa and Dike woke up with an inexplicable urge. A burning desire coursed through their veins, unlike anything they had ever experienced before. It was as if their very beings were on fire, consumed by an overwhelming need for each other. They gave in to their urges, making love passionately and repeatedly throughout the day. But as the hours passed, they realized that their desire was not waning. In fact, it was intensifying. No matter how many times they satisfied their cravings, the hunger only grew stronger. By the end of the day, they had engaged in intercourse over 100 times, an act that left Dike physically exhausted and Chinasa emotionally drained. Yet they couldn't stop. The once playful and adventurous couple now found themselves trapped in a cycle of uncontrollable lust. Their bodies ached, but their minds were enslaved by the need to be close to each other. The villagers, unaware of the supernatural event that had taken place, began to notice the couple's peculiar behavior. Gossip spread like wildfire, with many deeming their actions indecent and shameful. But Chinasa and Dike were beyond the point of caring. They were desperate to satisfy the desires that had taken over their lives. As the days turned into weeks, the villagers' gossip grew louder and more malicious. Chinasa and Dike had become the talk of the town, their once respectable reputation tarnished by whispers of their indecent behavior. Women clucked their tongues in disapproval, while men shook their heads in disbelief. Even the village children, who once adored the couple, now avoided them, sensing something was amiss. Despite the growing discomfort and shame, Chinasa and Dike continued their relentless pursuit of each other. They had become prisoners to their desires, unable to control the urges that consumed them. The village elders, concerned by the escalating situation, decided to confront the couple. They gathered in the village square and summoned Chinasa and Dike to appear before them. When the couple arrived, the elders were shocked by their appearance. Dike looked gaunt and weary, his body weakened by the constant exertion. Chinasa, though still beautiful, had a haunted look in her eyes, as if she were carrying a burden too heavy to bear. The elders demanded to know what had caused their sudden change in behavior, but the couple remained silent, unable to explain the curse that had befallen them. The elders, sensing that something supernatural was at play, advised them to seek the help of a seer. Desperate for answers, Chinasa and Dike visited Adeze, the village's most revered seer. Adeze was an elderly woman known for her wisdom and deep connection to the spiritual world. When the couple arrived at her hut, Adeze welcomed them with a knowing look, as if she had already sensed their arrival. She led them inside and instructed them to sit in front of a large bowl filled with herbs and stones. As Adeze began to chant, the air inside the hut grew heavy with the scent of burning sage. The couple watched in silence as the seer entered a trance-like state, her eyes rolling back into her head. After what felt like an eternity, Adeze spoke. Her voice was low and filled with an eerie certainty. She revealed that Chinasa and Dike had committed a grave taboo by witnessing the divine act of Anya and Chima. The gods, angered by their intrusion, had cursed them with an insatiable desire that could only be broken by a specific ritual. The couple, horrified by the revelation, begged Adaeze for a solution. Dikai's body was beginning to break under the strain, and Chinasa feared for their lives. Adaeze, with a solemn expression, instructed them to return to the forest where they had first seen the gods. There they were to observe the gods in a different state, fighting and pushing each other away. Only by witnessing this could they break the curse and restore balance to their lives. Chinasa and Dike's journey to the forest was far from easy. They trekked through the dense foliage, their bodies still aching from the curse that had been placed upon them. Every step felt like a monumental effort, and yet they pushed on, driven by the hope that the gods would forgive them and lift the terrible burden that had overtaken their lives. As they neared the clearing where they had first seen the gods, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows through the trees. The couple settled down to wait, unsure of when or even if the gods would return. The hours dragged on, each minute feeling like an eternity. Chinasa and Dike huddled together, their hunger gnawing at their insides and their exhaustion weighing down on them. Despite their physical fatigue, the curse still gripped them, and they found themselves unable to resist the urge to be intimate, even as their bodies screamed for rest. It was a cruel torment, a constant reminder of the taboo they had committed. As the night wore on, they felt their strength waning, teetering on the brink of passing out from sheer exhaustion. But they dared not sleep, fearful that the gods might arrive while they were unconscious, and they would miss their only chance at redemption. Just as Chinasa and Dike were about to lose hope, the air around them began to shift. A soft glow illuminated the clearing, and the sound of rustling leaves filled the silence. The lava gods, Anya and Chima, had arrived. But unlike the last time the couple had seen them, the gods were not engaged in their divine act of love. Instead, they stood before Chinasa and Dike, their faces stern and unyielding. The atmosphere was heavy with tension, and the couple felt a shiver of fear run down their spines. Anya, the male god, spoke first, his voice resonating with power and authority. "You have committed a grave taboo by witnessing our sacred union," he declared. "Such an act is forbidden to mortals, and for this you have been cursed." Chinasa and Dike fell to their knees, pleading for mercy. They explained that their curiosity had gotten the better of them, and they begged the gods to lift the curse that was destroying their lives. But Anya was unmoved. "We are beings of love and unity," he continued. "We never quarrel, we never fight. We exist in perfect harmony, and your intrusion has tainted that purity." Chima, the female god, regarded the couple with a softer gaze. She could see the desperation in their eyes, the genuine regret for their actions. "Anya, perhaps we should show them mercy," she suggested. "They are but mortals, flawed and imperfect. They did not know the full extent of their actions." But Anya shook his head, his expression resolute. "They must suffer the consequences of their curiosity," he insisted. "To lift the curse would be to undermine the very balance we uphold." Chinasa and Dike's hearts sank at Anya's refusal, but they continued to plead with Chima, sensing that she held the key to their salvation. "Please, Chima," Chinasa implored, tears streaming down her face. "We cannot endure this any longer. Our love is being torn apart by this curse. We beg you, show us mercy." Moved by their sincerity, Chima made a decision that would change the course of their lives and the balance between the gods themselves. "I will help you," Chima declared, her voice firm. "The curse will be lifted and you shall be free." Anya stared at her in disbelief, his eyes flashing with anger. "You would defy me?" he demanded. "You would go against our eternal bond for the sake of these mortals?" Chima met his gaze without flinching. "I would," she replied. "For the first time, I see that even we, the gods of love, can learn from the imperfections of mortals. We must show them compassion." This act of defiance sparked a rift between the lover gods. Anya, feeling betrayed, lashed out in anger. The perfect harmony that had always existed between them shattered, and for the first time the gods quarreled. The ground trembled beneath Chinasa and Dike as the gods fought, their voices echoing through the forest in a tumultuous clash. It was a sight both terrifying and awe-inspiring, a divine conflict that mirrored the very struggle the couple had endured. As the gods' quarrel reached its peak, a wave of energy surged through the clearing, knocking Chinasa and Dike to the ground. In that moment, they felt the curse break, the overwhelming desire that had consumed them finally dissipating. The gods, exhausted from their fight, retreated into the shadows, their anger subsiding but their bond forever changed. Chinasa and Dike lay on the forest floor, their bodies weak but their spirits free. The curse had been lifted, but at a great cost to the lover gods. As dawn broke, the forest around Chinasa and Dike was eerily silent, the echoes of the gods' quarrel still lingering in the air. The couple, now free from the curse, slowly rose to their feet, feeling a profound sense of relief, but also an overwhelming sadness. They had witnessed something that no mortal was meant to see, the unraveling of the perfect union between Anya and Chima. The gods' love, once a symbol of eternal harmony, had been tarnished because of their curiosity. Chinasa and Dike knew that their lives would never be the same again, not just because the curse was lifted, but because they had forever altered the balance of the divine. Exhausted and emotionally drained, the couple made their way back through the forest, their steps slow and deliberate. The journey that had once been filled with desperation now felt somber and reflective. They were free from the curse, but the price had been high. As they walked, Chinasa and Dike held each other close, finding comfort in their shared experience. They spoke little, each lost in their thoughts, contemplating the events that had transpired. The love they had for each other was still strong, but it was now tempered with a deeper understanding of the consequences of their actions. When they finally reached the edge of the forest, the sun was high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the village below. The sight of their home filled them with a sense of bittersweet longing. They knew they had to face the villagers, to explain where they had been and what had happened. But more importantly, they needed to make amends for the chaos they had caused. With a shared nod of determination, Chinasa and Dike prepared themselves to return to the life they had known, forever changed but stronger for it. As Chinasa and Dike entered the village, they were met with curious stares and murmurs from the villagers. Word had spread about their strange behavior, and many were eager to hear their explanation. The couple, however, did not seek to hide or avoid the scrutiny. Instead, they approached the village elders and requested to speak in the village square. The elders, sensing the seriousness in their demeanor, granted them permission to address the community. In front of the gathered villagers, Chinasa and Dike recounted their journey with honesty and humility. They spoke of their initial curiosity that led them to witness the divine act, the curse that followed, and the torment they endured as a result. They did not shy away from describing the gods' quarrel, acknowledging the role they had played in disrupting the divine harmony. The villagers listened in stunned silence, realizing the gravity of what had occurred. Chinasa and Dike then spoke of the lessons they had learned. They emphasized the importance of respecting the boundaries between the mortal and divine, and the dangers of letting curiosity override caution. They also spoke of love, of how their bond had been tested and ultimately strengthened by the trials they faced. The couple expressed their deep regret for the pain they had caused, both to the gods and to the villagers, and vowed to live the rest of their lives with greater wisdom and respect for the world around them. The elders, moved by their sincerity and bravery, forgave Chinasa and Dike for their transgressions. They declared that the couple's story would be passed down through generations as a powerful reminder of the consequences of meddling in divine affairs. The villagers too accepted them back into the community, their respect for the couple renewed by the strength they had shown. The story of their misadventure became a legend, told by the fireside to remind all who heard it that even in the face of divine wrath, love and humility could prevail. And so, Chinasa and Dike walked a new path hand in hand, forever grateful for the second chance they had been given, a chance to live not just as lovers, but as wiser, more understanding souls who had seen the consequences of their actions and emerged stronger on the other side. The story teaches the importance of respecting boundaries, particularly those between the mortal and divine. Curiosity can lead to dangerous consequences when it pushes us to overstep limits. It also teaches us that while curiosity is natural, it must be tempered with caution. The couple's decision to spy on the gods, driven by curiosity, led to severe repercussions. illustrating that not all knowledge is meant to be pursued. I have some questions. Why do you think Chinasa and Dike chose to ignore the elders' warnings and sneak into the forest? Was their curiosity justified? How do you feel about Chinasa and Dike's decision to spy on the gods despite knowing the risks? Do you think their behavior was reckless or understandable? Also, do you think the gods Anya and Chima were right in punishing Chinasa and Dike? Was Chima justified in showing mercy? How do you balance justice and compassion in your own life? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below.
If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, subscribe. Watch our other interesting videos posted on our channel. We cannot wait to have you as a member of our Akoko Folktale TV Addict channel. Thank you so much for your support.